Breakfast, we now take you through this very important conversation. Now, the Nigeria Railway Corporation is pushing towards optimizing rail operations in the country for better transportation across states. The plan also includes better use of rail assets through upgrades, data-driven management, and private sector involvement in stations and cargo services, with the aim of turning rail transportation into a stronger part of the country's economy. However, challenges remain, especially vandalism and security issues along key corridors, which still affect operations. The long-term goal under is simple: make rail transport a reliable backbone for Nigeria and ease pressure on the roads. Joining us for the conversation is the Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, Mr. Kayode Opeifa. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the show. Again, we've had you before on the show, and now we're having you again. This is a very beautiful conversation. But before I even want to start with my question and everything, I want to ask you, how are you coping? First of all, how is it? What's happening with the rail? We're looking at the price of diesel. We're seeing what is happening. I see your face change when I said diesel. But yes, first of all, my questions are there, but I want to know first, how are you coping?
We want to thank God that we still exist. Spirit Airline is gone. The Nigerian aviation sector have raised their voice. But guess what? We have to keep moving. We're a government enterprise. Diesel price has gone doubled, and operational cost has gone 80% more. We have not increased the cost of movement. Our fares remains the same. All we can do is to optimize what we have and then think out of the box. So we're looking at proactively 2 years ago, under this administration, we thought of moving from diesel to LNG to power the our equipment, our locomotives and coaches. We also thought about using a CNG to power generators. Unfortunately, we completed the proof of concept. We couldn't get the necessary resources to move ahead. Also, about 6 months ago, we also concluded plans to change all our energy sources in our stations to renewable energy, working with RIA, Rural Electrification Agency.
Okay.
That one too yet to take us. So right now, all we pray is an end to the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Immediately you said RIA, I was like, which of the RIA are you talking about?
Renewable energy.
Yeah.
Okay, renewable, Rural Electrification Agency.
Okay. Yes. All right. Now let me go to the question on vandalism. Oftentimes we know that this is one of the key problems that we're facing in our rail lines when we talk about security, when we talk about people just destroying the rail lines. How have we been coping with vandalism? Because I remember the last time we had you here, we still spoke about that. People just going to destroy the rail lines. And once a train is destroyed and it derails, it's very difficult when it comes to maintenance and all of that. So for vandalism, what are we doing to make sure that these rail lines are very safe?
Yeah, let me start by saying it occurs almost all over the world, but different times. So people in Portugal is just people putting graffiti on the walls. But in Nigeria, it is taking away the assets. And we have put up some new measures, especially on the Wari Itape. We're now using human monitoring in the absence of drone to be deployed in the future. The rate on that corridor had gone down. On the Abuja-Kaduna, we have started seeing a resurgence. And it's beyond vandalism. It's also getting to a situation where you see people throwing stones at the trains or moving. And, this is we're getting to the rainy season. The herders are moving their cows back to base, and one or two accidents does occur, and they react. And we are also now seeing desperation along the southwestern corridor. That is the Lagos-Ibadan axis. Our standard gauge in Lagos to Ogun area have started seeing some level of vandalism. So we are introducing the same measure we put on the Wari Itape also in Lagos. I don't need to describe it that openly. However, our responsibility is that when we see one, within 24 hours, we make sure it's corrected. And we have now moved away from sending a pilot ahead of our movement, because the tracks are now safer than it used to be. Thanks to some of these measures we have put in place. But we are looking forward to, in the future, deploying some electronic systems.
Now, the average Nigerian that's below 45 or below 45 did not see the Nigerian Railway Corporation of those days. Some of us that are in the fifth floor, we enjoyed a little bit of it, and we had quite a lot of information concerning railway etiquette in the rail station and so on and so forth. But how well is the Nigerian Railway Corporation educating Nigerians on those peculiarities that has to do with the railway?
Okay. Generally speaking, the best way to educate people is to the Montessori system, where people see it. So that's why the government has been expanding the rail infrastructure. We built 3,500 in 60 years, and it's another 60 years from independence, like you said, we built zero.
Yes.
Now this government is building a lot more. The Kaduna-Kano route line is almost completion. We believe it will be completed by December. When it comes to operation, the new generation when I enter the train, I see a lot of young kids, and I tell them, even though the train passes in front of my neighbor, I never use the train. Yeah. But you are lucky, you are using the train.
Using it.
So then also, in the Lagos train service sector, we have what happens every Thursdays. School children come on excursions every Thursday.
Okay.
They will be there tomorrow, and we'll take them on the train from Ebute Metta to Agege, and then they take them back. Then after they come down, they go to the rail museum. There's a museum on the compound they see. So that's also part of it. Yeah. We've seen an increase in that. You see like 3 or 4 schools come in, and we do it at the minimal price. Then the other one is programs like this. Yeah. Just yesterday, we were somewhere in Kaduna with the security agencies to go and educate a community where we say that close to the train station, they're not enjoying it, and they see it as a problem. Okay. So we also do, we've created a customer service and experience center. We've now introduced what you call the experience, entertainment, and tourism section. Yeah. That's where you see the diplomas are using a train. NIPR, your own groups also use the train to Kaduna. We also have people doing wedding parties. There are a lot of parties going on our trains now. On Saturdays and Sundays in Lagos. Especially, a company recently used the train to take prospective buyers of their real estate thing from Lagos. About 180 people moved from Lagos down to somewhere in Ogun State, just to have a feel of the train and do their business. Yes, it is true, but if we increase the rolling stocks, we increase the frequency of the train, like what is going on in Lagos, the people in Lagos have started seeing train back. We're also railing with the state. We're working with Zamfara State to get train to run on Gusau track, and we've been able to do that with Plateau State, even though just last week, some people went and took 500 meters of track were evacuated in Plateau. Same thing happened in Bauchi, where we are trying to run. So many things are going on, but it is we, as a people, as a government, and at the private sector, to invest in rail systems. The tracks are available. Just bring your locomotives, bring your engines, bring your rolling stocks, bring your freight engines and run. We'll give you a license to do that.
So, I remember this is about the fourth time we are talking about the rail system under your administration, and then you've given us different information every now and then. Kudos to you on that. How much have you done in terms of tourism, for the train, system? Because you mentioned some people now having weddings, on the train and all of that. Because we see that across the world, rail is no longer a means of transportation, not just a means of transportation. It's become part of lifestyle, tourism, and even entertainment, that goes on there. So with all of this, coupled with the fact that people might be scared, I'm linking this up with insecurity, people might be scared because of, rail tracks like the Kano-Maradi, Kaduna-Kano, which are, you're going to be giving us updates on. How do you feel that, how are people getting to realize that, yes, the train service is very safe, and all those tracks that are being stolen by vandals, is there no other way for us to police some of these tracks, by installing maybe AI cameras here and there, or drone surveillance and all of that? How are you working with, how are you collaborating with agencies? One is the tourist attraction and the other one is the policing this rail tracks.
For the train system to be attractive to tourists and tourism doesn't mean only people coming from abroad.
That's right.
Or people who move for entertainment, for leisure. Now, for it to be attractive, it has to be secured.
That's right.
It has to be reliable, it has to be efficient, and it has to be enjoyable. Now, that is why the security aspect you mentioned is also linked. Now, we are introducing technology gradually. Our rail track, except for the Western Corridor, passes through the hinterland. In fact, the Warri Itakpe passes through rocks. So even if you put surveillance there, you see something that is about to happen, you still have to get there. So what we have done in that area is a system that works, and we're going to do the same in Lagos. Now, also the security agents, especially the DSS, are working closely with us. We have our own police command, we have our own civil defense command, and we also have the Inspector General team that also assists in this. So security-wise, I want to say we're doing good. Now, coming to the tourism aspect, you see, the essence of mobility, one is to improve tourism, and tourism is service transportation. In this case, we recently, NANTA, National Association of Nigeria Tourism Travel Agencies, used that train for their conference. Then we have Egbaliganza, the Olumo Rock Lishabi Festival. They use that train to convey diplomats and VIP people. And also recently, I mentioned earlier, we have the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations also use that train for the Kaduna conference. So we are doing well in that regard. All we need is more equipment. More equipment. And we also have leisure coaches, which are designed. We have systems you can sit like this. We have, one company, I think it was, I can mention, I think it was Sterling Bank, once used a coach, a train to go to Ibadan, the IITA to have, they had meetings.
More like a T-bus.
You have a conference table, so we can rearrange so many things. So we're doing fine. All we need is more equipment, and we are looking forward to private sector individuals. If you come with your own coaches, your own tourist coaches, you can infuse them into assets. And we also see applications. Companies who want to buy a ticket for many years, but we are not accepting it for now because of capacity issues. Some companies also want to play roles, and we are looking at all those options. And we're also waiting for TVC.
Yes, we are coming. We are coming. But when we talk about security, we talk about infrastructure. We also talk about safety as well. In countries like the UK, Germany, we see that a lot of people use train. A lot of people are happy to use train. The train is on time. It's like the fastest means of transport. Now let's trickle it down to Nigeria. Oftentimes people will tell you that they are scared to enter the train in Nigeria. What are we doing to make sure that we give education, to people that our trains are safe? Their needs. When you enter it, you are going to get to where you're going safely, and most importantly, you're going to get there on time. And that's what we talk about security as well. In terms of infrastructure, what do we continue to do to make sure that our trains stand the test of time? In terms of maintenance, how well do we maintain the trains? When we talk about taking them for, I don't know how they maintain trains. Do they take them? Do they bring people to check them? But in terms of all of that, what are we doing to make sure that safety is the number one thing?
Sorry, let me say, with due respect, the feedback we're getting now, more people want to use the train. They are not getting scared. That's right. And in fact, there was a time we had an incident in Abraka Agbo area. There was a vandalized track that resulted in an incident, and the people waited for almost 12 hours. I think you shared that story. They said they would not do. The recent incident we had in Abuja, Kaduna axis also. You have a situation where people who had to take the next train refused, that they say we just must go, we still move. In terms of on time, I think we are in the mobility sector. I would say the train system, whether it's the Lagos train or the Nigerian Railway Corporation, is still one sector that moves on time. We have on the Lagos-Ibadan axis, we have almost 99% on time movement. And once we move on time, our destination time is always the same. Yes. Unlike the airline where you have 2-3 hours, 4 hours, we don't have that in the train, except there is an incident. That's right. Then on the issue of neatness, our trains are clean and neat. People have attested to that. We recently launched a new standard operating procedure all are cleaners. They're private sector people. We gathered them in Lagos and we took them through like almost 8 hours training on a new standard operating procedure, cleaning procedure, basically cleaning procedure, what we understand by cleaning, because train experience starts with the cleanliness. The moment you come, I never know, I will have brought you the manual. We created a new manual, which we give to them. That's the first set of training. Then at the different train service countrywide, we'll also be training them. In terms of our toilets and all this, you need to visit. I bragged with some people yesterday. Our train, our facilities are cleaner than many of the places.
We'll come and check it out. Just know that we'll come and check it
all
out.
All this we are doing so that people can have good experience. What is limiting is the equipments. If we have more coaches, we have more rolling stocks, and we have connection from Lagos to Abuja, you'll be shocked. Our trains are running at never below 100% in most cases. And when it is low, it is never less than 95%. So what we have the market, what we just need to do is to meet the demand. So that is the issues. So you can say is the challenge.
The challenge
is to have the equipments to match. In terms of adoption, Nigerians want to use the train. So we need to move and connect all the lines. If you have a train from Lagos to Abuja today to be filled up, I'll give you an experience. Any day you can take a trip to Ido, the Ido terminus, at about 12 noon. You will see a lot of people who are waiting to board the train for 4 p.m.
Amazing.
The train that will leave at 4 p.m. They came with the train in the morning to trade at the Idumota. They have their goods bought, but if we can put another train at 12, another one at 2, then one at 4, then the next one at 6, they will still be filled.
What about fares, the fares of the train?
It has remained the same.
Even with the diesel and everything.
No, these are the things that worldwide one way government gives back to the community. You see, our own breaking even, our own profitability is not only in terms of naira and kobo. It is in the health area, people are more comfortable. It is in return on investment in the various sectors that use the train. It is in the joy and the fact that the country is moving. When the country moves, that's why you see American government did all they could do to bail out Spirit. You take one equipment out in the mobility sector, it rubs off on it. And that's why we want Nigerians to understand. The rail system is not judged by is it viable, is it profitable. And let me use this to say, this year, like many years back, we still surpass despite all the issues we face with shutting down for 60 days or shutting down 30 days in Kaduna, removing equipment, not able to run the normal 6 trips in Abuja, Kaduna. We still surpass our revenue target. That is because the system has become more efficient. Loopholes are blocked. Ticket racketeering brought down. So many things have been improved.
Yes, I'm so interested. My interest was piqued when you talked about inviting the private sector into the game. What are those policies you've put in place that makes it attractive for the private sector to say, look, I want to be a player in the Nigerian rail sector, taking into consideration that the investment needed is heavy?
Yeah, that's true. The issue here is how they get their resources back. So there's what you call the sovereign guarantee. And all over the world, national governments back this loan through legislations at the national, like in our case, at the National Assembly. So you can be rest assured, the Nigerian government will back your investments, especially on every infrastructure. That's number one. Number two, we have the track access program. We have about 10 people already have this license. 2 are operating. And out of the 8 that got it recently, I'm aware a lot of them have gone shopping for equipment. So you can also invest in the equipment. Bring in your own rolling stock. Charge what you want to charge. Make it premium. Charge and people will use it. But most especially on the freight sector. The freight sector has a lot of attraction for the private sector that are also used from the port. Not the MPA per se. The port operation system where you have double charges for rail. The amount they charge you to move your goods by rail, I mean, not the amount. there is a particular charge, like a tax or whatever you call it. They call it the rail charge and the truck charge. Then you have the badge charge. The amount you pay for moving by train or by badge is like 5 times the amount you pay by moving by truck. So those are things we are working on, that it has to be removed.
Absolutely.
So that more people will be encouraged to engage in the freight by rail revolution. We are already in discussion with the necessary government agency, the port regulators, to talk to the terminal operators. You can't be charging me, for, let me say, 45,000 naira to move a container, to put it on the train rack, wagon, whereas you charge the truck 9,000 naira. It doesn't
add up. Right.
And that is even though the people who still move by the train are still desperate to do that, but they keep complaining. Then when they get to the other hand, they also have to discharge their stuff. So you have this stuff. So we're working on those issues. But basically, we have railing with the states. State governments are encouraged because they have resources. They too can invest in rail.
And that's actually where I'm going. And I want you to take it, in line with what you're about to say, because we see that it has always been on the exclusive list. Now we're seeing state like Lagos state governments already showing interest. So the fact that the Federal Executive Council recently approved the subnational participation in rail development, a major shift. How do you think, what does it mean in practical terms for a state looking to build and operate?
In fact, it's the most lucrative business state government should get into, rather than just going to build. Everything is important. I'm not saying airports are not important, but more people will use will benefit from the rail. What you have seen is recently you heard about the federal government approval of some $2.9 billion for rail infrastructure in Kaduna, Kano, and Lagos. And what that translates into is, these are state projects, but you see the federal government interest. So the government has gone beyond the issue of is no more on the exclusive, it's now on the concurrent list. So even when it is not on the concurrent list, state government have access to use the track. Now that it is on the concurrent list, state government can now build it. And I'm aware Kaduna State is building. And in return, the government is also supporting the effort. So it's not only just that they can do it, you also see federal support. It's all in an attempt, because it is expensive. If you leave it for state government to invest, it might be difficult. Right now, Zamfara State is talking with us to make sure the track along Gusau works. It has 19 kilometers perfect, and the 5 kilometers will take it to the campus. They are trying to invest. So that's why I say, just like state government can invest, private sector too can invest. Where we have tracks, they don't need to build new tracks. For example, I can say Ogun State can invest and run train from Ogun State, Ibadan, Oyo State, can run train from the other end down to Lagos, because this is where people are coming. The same way Kaduna State can invest in rolling stock to run Abuja. The same way FCT government can also, FCT administration can also invest. Same way the private sector, especially the people in the logistics, freight forwarding, and maritime business. Because any maritime reform without connectivity to the rail is also not optimized. So what we're saying is that we need to optimize our rail system in Nigeria for growth. Yes, the investment outlay is huge, but on the long run, it is more profitable and sustainable because the equipment you install lasts decades.
Amazing. Because of our time, beautiful. You've put it really well, and we can see that we're calling out for people to come and invest, which is a good one, because at the end of the day, you cannot do it all alone. But let's talk about the future. What is the future of the Nigerian, railway, comparing it to other countries, especially the UK, because they have a fantastic train system over there. But for you, what is the future of the rail line in Nigeria? At what point will it get to that you will feel totally gratified? Because we must give it to you. You've been doing a fantastic job. Well done on all that you've been doing. But at what point would you say that, yes, I came, I saw, I conquered, and I did it really well?
I saw, I conquered.
So you won't make me apostle. Now, let me say it this way. 12 years ago, I will tell you very bleak. Since the last administration, there was some sign of hope. And with this current administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I can tell you the future is bright.
Okay.
Where you start seeing the national government investing in sub-nationals to build capacity, where you see the synergy between national and sub-national governments coming up, where you see policies being put in place deliberately to encourage people, sub-nationals, and even foreign companies. Among the two licenses operating on our track, you have Lagos State Government. You also have CCCC, Nigerian Limited. So you see the Chinese company also believing that this is something they can invest. They created a company in Nigeria to run. So the future is bright. We have a plan that connects all the 36 states, FCT, by rail. You also have these regional development commissions also working hard on rail. One of the licensees is the Southwest Development Commission, and they are working hard to run trains along the narrow gauge and the standard gauge, working with the state governments within the Southwest. You also see the Southeast Commission, fantastic.
Yeah.
The Enugu State, Abia State, Anambra State, they're also working with Southeast Commission to develop their own rail system. And you see states like Borno, Plateau, and Zamfara also talking of putting up. So the future is better than, it's bright, and it's better than.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kayode. That was a fantastic conversation. Thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure when we have you on the show, actually. We wish you all the very best going forward, and we hope that you come back and we share more great things.
Before I come back, you have to ride the train.
Okay, yes, so that we can share with experiences.
We'll take the challenge this time around.
Yes,
we'll pick a Saturday and come. Maybe
we'll inform our boss, Mr. Niron, will sort it out for us. Yes.
And then you give us a small party inside.
No, we'll organize one.
Okay,
you can marry a second wife.
Your producer's birthday for the event.
I know, right? Mr. Niron's birthday. Yeah, that's true. But yes, we'll still plan something. All right. Thank you for watching this particular conversation. But what really is driving the early political moves and alliances already defining